What's up, guys? Welcome to the full breakdown on the beginner's guide to working out at home. This is everything you need to know from workouts, the workout splits you're going to do, what to do for recovery, how to make sure you're getting stronger and still building muscle if you plateau, what foods to eat, how to recover, as well as mindset and how to be consistent, as well as building the discipline behind that consistency so you don't fall off and you don't lose motivation. Let's get into it. So, first things first, before we fully dive in, I need to make sure that you guys are taking notes. You have a pen and a piece of paper because there's going to be a lot of valuable information, and I really want you guys to succeed. I don't want you to have to watch this video multiple times or have to come back. Just take the notes now, really lock in and pay attention, because the person who's taking notes compared to the person who's just kind of listening, walking, and multitasking, the person who's taking notes is going to really succeed and get results. This is the full breakdown, and I spent a lot of time on this, and I really want you guys to win in your scenario wherever you are. So let's get to it. So first things first, this is the beginner home transformation system. It all starts with training. So everybody is going to be doing a 6-day split, okay? It's going to be push, pull, legs. If you guys don't know what a split is basically something to organize your muscle groups on what days you're doing what. For example, you could do a full body almost every day, every other day. You can do upper body, lower body split. My favorite split is push, pull, legs. It's super simple, and I'm going to explain why. Okay, so this is a 6-day split. I need you guys working out at least 3 to 4 days. For the best results, 6 days, okay? So the first day it's going to be push, pull, legs, and then you can rest on the fourth day or just repeat, okay? So it's going to be push, pull, and then legs, and then the 7th day is your rest day. Let's get into it. So with the push, pull, leg split, as you can see right here, we have a push day, we have a pull day, and we have a leg day. So for our push day, we're going to be working on our chest, shoulders, and triceps. So why are we working on chest, shoulders, triceps on push? Because if you guys think about it, everything that you're pushing with is your chest, your shoulders are being activated, and your triceps are being activated. And in calisthenics, when you're doing push-ups, when you're doing pike push-ups and dips, these are the muscle groups that you're working on. That's why push, pull, legs is one of the best splits for calisthenics. So what are the different workouts that you can do for chest, shoulders, and triceps? Well, if we go over here, some beginner workouts that I suggest you guys do is the basic push-up. Okay, there is different variations of the push-ups, like decline push-up, archer push-ups, incline push-ups, right? Push-up negatives. There's so many different variations, but right now I just want you to focus on normal push-ups and knee push-ups, specifically if you can't do a push-up yet. Next is pike push-ups, which is a little bit more advanced, but this is going to be targeting your shoulders, really building mass and strength on your shoulders. And then last but not least is dips. So you could be doing dips on a dip bar. If you don't have a dip bar, you can also use a bench or a chair, or you could use 2 chairs together so you can get full range of motion. So there's 2 ways to do dips. You can do dips by putting your hands behind your back like this, right, on like a chair, or you could actually use a dip bar or 2 chairs to grab the bars or the chair handles and actually go down and push. Hopefully that makes sense. You guys will see what I'm talking about in the video later. So that was our push day. Now we are going to move down into pull. So when we get into pull, let's get into it right here. So pull, we're going to be pulling, right? When we pull, we work our biceps, and when we pull, we work our back muscles. That's why we classify and group together back and biceps. It's super easy. Any pull motion, this is what you're going to be working on in calisthenics, is the back and the biceps. So 2 simple workouts I want you guys to focus on right now is just pull-ups and rows. These are the best workouts you guys can do in the beginning. Is going to be pull-ups, either using your full body weight. And if you can't do a pull-up yet, this is where you can use a resistance band to help you, or you can use a chair behind you or an object behind you to put one leg on and push to help you do that pull up. You could also get in a starting position where you're hanging and then you jump and go slowly on the way down for about 3 seconds. But using the chair behind you is really going to help you get used to that motion, as well as doing chin-ups. But I want you guys practicing chin-ups and overhand normal pull-ups. Okay. Now, if you guys can't do pull-ups at all, even with the chair behind you or assistance, this is when you need to focus on rows. So Australian rows, going under a table and you are laying horizontal and you're pulling yourself up, doing towel rows on a pillar or using a door. This is what you need to really get good at. And this is going to significantly speed up your progress when it comes down to doing pull-ups. Next, we are going to be moving into legs. So leg day is the most important day. So for legs, we have our quads, our hamstrings, our glutes, and our calves. So we have one day for everything because legs is basically half of our body. It's a big muscle group, but on the leg day, we really hit it hard. So some workouts for legs would be squats, pistol squats, Bulgarian split squats, and calf raises. So core is the last pillar, and I did not put many workouts on here for the core, but I did put a couple. This is what I want you guys to focus on for right now, is getting really good at holding planks at least a minute. Like 4 sets of 1 minute planks, 4 sets of 1 minute side planks. When you guys first start, it's going to be really, really hard. And you may just be able to do maybe 20 seconds or 30 seconds, but you want to get up to a minute. Then you guys can do leg raises, laying down on the floor leg raises. And if you're a little bit stronger, then you can start doing hanging leg raises on the bar. Hanging leg raises, write that down. This is going to be a killer ab workout when it comes to really getting defined abs, especially the lower abs. But start off on the floor with just normal leg raises and then crunches to hit your upper ab section. So when you're doing crunches, you're not doing a full sit-up. You're doing crunches. You're going to go all the way back, really stretch your abs, and then crunch up and kind of hold it for a good 2 to 3 seconds. And then go slow on the way down. I'm going to show you guys this later when I'm actually performing the workout. So next I want to talk about progressive overload. So here we have training, right? So training, we add reps, slow tempo, and improve form with progressive overload. So for example, all it means is making your workouts harder over time, basically increasing the intensity. A lot of you guys might just be doing the same push-ups every other day. Maybe you're doing push-ups every other day. This is why you're not getting big. Spamming push-ups isn't going to get you jacked. You have to be doing progressive overload. So adding reps, slowing down tempo, right? Going slow on the way down, doing negatives, right? Imagine you're doing a push-up on the way down. Instead of just going fast, you go slow, right? Like 1, 2, 3, feel that expansion in the chest, then you push up and contract, okay? And then improving your form, making sure your elbows aren't flaring out. A lot of you guys, your form is horrible and you have no clue, but you don't know that because you can't see yourself work out. This is why we record ourselves working out. Then you can actually see, okay, I'm not flexing my core. My back is hanging down. My stomach's hanging down. I need to actually flex my core, make sure my back's flat. I need to make sure my glutes are flexed as well as my legs, and then perform my push-up. Oh, I notice my elbows are flaring out. Let me make sure they're 45 degrees and straight. That's when you actually start seeing your form, and then you can improve. Then you start getting results. But if you're just spamming push-ups and you have horrible form, you're not really going to get the best results. So just make sure you are always upgrading and making your workouts harder over time with intensity. Now, this doesn't mean do more push-ups. This doesn't mean keep doing more push-ups, right? Like, say if you could do 20 push-ups, 30 push-ups, and you're like, okay, now it's time to do 35. Now it's time to do 40. That's only going to get you strong. That's only going to get you strong. That's not going to get you jacked. The more push-ups does not mean the more jacked you get, right? The more push-ups just means endurance training. It's just endurance training. It's impressive, right? Lifting your body weight that many times, but it's not getting you jacked. What's going to get you jacked is aiming for those reps between 10 to 15 I would say 10 to 15, maybe 20 max. 20 max. You don't want to go over 20. And you want to actually make the workouts harder in between those rep ranges of 10 to 15. That could be going slow on the way down, right? That can mean actually adding weight on your back or adding weight when you do pull-ups. Or that can mean adding resistance bands to your push-ups where it's on your back and it's hard to actually do a push-up. So as long as you're making your workouts harder over time within those rep ranges, that is when you are going to get the most results. That is when you are actually going to start getting jacked and seeing strength gains as well as muscle gains as well. Hopefully that makes sense. So just to sum it up, you have to make workouts harder over time on your leg day, on your push day, and on your pull day, right? So that can mean going slow on the way down on a pull up, right? Going slow on the way down on a push up, going slow on the way down on a squat. Okay, if that's easy, then that's when you could add weight, right? Get a weighted vest, add weight, okay? Or use resistance bands when it comes to doing push-ups, or use resistance bands when it comes to doing squats. That's how you build muscle from home. All right, next pillar I want to go into is going to be nutrition. So nutrition is going to be very, very important. So when we get into nutrition, the first thing I want to focus on is protein, okay? You guys should be eating 0.7 to 1 gram per body weight. So for example, I weigh 190 pounds, right? I should be eating around 190 grams of protein every single day, okay? At least 190. Now, say if you weigh 120, you should be eating 120 grams of protein every single day. Now, say if you're someone who is extremely overweight and you're like 250, 280, 300, does that mean you need that much grams of protein? No, this is where you use the 0.7, okay? So if you're like 250 or 300, max you should be eating is around like 200 grams of protein, maybe 220, 225 grams of protein, okay? Especially for you guys who are overweight. But everybody else, I'm talking about like extremely overweight, like a pretty big hefty guy. But everybody else, you should be eating 1 gram per body weight. So if you weigh 140, eat 140 grams of protein. If you weigh 150, eat 150 grams of protein. Now, say if you're training really hard, but you're not hitting your protein consistently every single day, you are not going to build muscle. Okay, you are not going to build muscle as fast as you could be compared to the guy who's hitting his protein every single day. I don't care how hard you're training for, how much work you're putting in. If you are not hitting that protein goal, everything else is a waste of time. Everything. Okay, it does not matter. So you really have to really take into consideration how important your protein is. I promise you, sleep and hitting your protein is what is going to get you jacked. Write that down. Getting 7-8 hours of sleep and hitting your protein every single day is going to get you jacked. Okay? Take that into consideration. That is very important. Now it's time to go into calorie goals. Okay? So everyone's going to have a different goal. There's going to be guys watching this video who are really skinny, trying to just bulk up. There's going to be guys in this video who are extremely overweight, right? And you're trying to lose the fat, but also build muscle at the same time. Then there's going to be guys who are kind of in between. You're kind of skinny, but you also have a belly and you want to lose your belly and build muscle at the same time. So I'm going to dive into each of those issues and tell you exactly what to do. So as we see right here, first, we are going to talk about cut, okay? So for the guys that are cutting, you guys are going to want to be in a 300 to 500 calorie deficit. You need to figure out what your maintenance is. If you're like, I don't know what my maintenance is, then I want you to go on ChatGPT and type in this prompt. Hey, ChatGPT, I want you to ask me as many questions as possible to figure out what my maintenance calories is. And then just answer those questions. And then you are going to get a pretty good estimate on what your maintenance calories are. So for most of you guys, I want you to be in a 300 to 500 calorie deficit. This is what I would start with. I don't want you to go over 500 calories because a lot of you guys will go over 500 calories, go in a super deep deficit, and then you end up starving yourself and you get super hungry and then you just kind of relapse and eat a whole bunch of food. Stay in a consistent deficit of 500 for about a week. If that is easy, then you can bump it up to around 750 deficit, okay, or 800 deficit. But don't go into an 1,000 calorie deficit, because if you go into 1,000 calorie deficit, you can do that and cut fat pretty fast, but it's very bad for you and it's bad for your hormones. And if you go too deep into a deficit, that's when your body actually starts holding on to the fat instead of getting rid of it. So do not starve yourself. The max I would go is 1,000. Now, if you are going to do 1,000 calorie deficit, you feel completely fine, your energy is fine, you are, 100% okay. Only do that for about 2 weeks to a month. Don't stay in a consistent 1,000 calorie deficit, because it is extremely, extremely hard to build muscle. Extremely hard to build muscle while you are deep in a deficit like that. This is why a 500 calorie deficit is perfect. You can still build muscle and lose fat at the same time. But if you want to raise it up and go on a more extreme approach, you can do an 1,000 calorie deficit, but I wouldn't do that more than 3 to 4 weeks. Okay. Otherwise, you are going to mess up your hormones and lower your testosterone levels for the guys out there. Okay. Now, if you guys are doing a calorie deficit, you are going to have to do cardio. Okay. So cardio is going to be very, very important in this process. You can do a calorie deficit without doing cardio, but it's going to be harder to lose fat. So here's the cardio I want you guys to do. I don't want you to go jogging and running. You can if you care about endurance training, or if you just like the feeling of running, but you don't have to do that for cardio. What I suggest doing is low intensity cardio. For example, low intensity cardio would be walking, not jogging, walking and speed walking, getting 8 to 10K steps every single day. This is going to shred fat super, super fast, especially if you're doing fasted cardio. Like fasted walking in the morning is absolutely amazing. And that actually got me super shredded. So if you guys are very serious about getting in shape fast and losing fat fast, walk everywhere and walk 8 to 10K steps. The more steps, the better. And if you're pairing that with the calorie deficit, you are going to shred fat super, super fast. And it's not taxing on your joints, right? It's very good for you. This is why old people are walking everywhere, right? Because it's not taxing on their body. You guys can do this every single day. Okay. Now, next is high intensity training. Okay. High intensity training. For example, we have sprints, right? So first thing is doing sprints, like sprinting up a hill, doing a 10-second sprint on flat ground and then resting for a good 30 seconds or a minute, and then sprinting super hard and then resting, right? Doing sprints is going to shred fat so fast. Why? It's because you are putting all your effort into one single sprint, sprinting as hard as you can, and this is going to strip the fat off of your body. But it's super taxing on your nervous system. So I would only do high intensity workouts 2 to 3 days out the week. I wouldn't go over that. Otherwise, your body's going to be like, "What's going on?" and it's going to be stressed, and it's not good. You don't want to raise your cortisol levels. This is why I suggest walking every single day and doing high intensity workouts 2 to 3 days out the week. Now, the next high intensity workout you guys can do is circuits. For example, like picking a good 4 to 5 workouts like mountain climbers, jumping jacks, high knees, jumping lunges, burpees, and doing each for about 40 seconds and then resting for 10 seconds, then repeating, and doing that circuit and then resting for a minute and then repeat. Or if you guys really, really want to push yourself, have no rest in between and just do mountain climbers for 40 seconds, jumping jacks for 40 seconds, high knees for 40 seconds, jumping lunges for 40 seconds, and then burpees for 40 seconds. And then once you're doing that, rest for 90 seconds and then repeat and then do 4 rounds of that. That is a high intensity circuit, and that is going to get you absolutely ripped as fast as possible. So guys, remember, low intensity workouts like walking or incline walking, and then high intensity workouts like sprints and circuits are going to get you in shape super fast, and you can do this all from home. Okay. So next we are going to move into you guys who are trying to bulk and put on size, right? For the skinny guys out there. Now, if you guys are extremely skinny, which was a situation I was in, I was super skinny. I couldn't gain weight. I said I had a fast metabolism. I didn't know what to do. And it's not that I had a fast metabolism, it's that I wasn't eating enough. I wasn't eating enough food, and I would blame it on on my metabolism, or I'd blame it on my genetics. But the reality was I wasn't tracking my calories, and that's why I couldn't gain weight. So first things first, you guys need to track your calories. You can do this on an app on MyFitnessPal, Lose It, or Cali, which is like $30 for the whole year. And you can take pictures. But if you are taking pictures, like if you take a picture of a burger, it's not going to just guess how many calories is in there. So I actually recommend you actually track the food either with like weighing the ounces on there, or getting a scale to weigh the ounces, or using measuring cups and things like that. So for you guys who are bulking, you are going to want to be in a 200 to 400 calorie surplus. Now, me personally, I like to lean bulk. So I only go into a 100, 200 calorie surplus max. Max is like 300. Now, if you guys are really, really struggling to put on weight and you just want to put on size and you don't care about the extra fat that you're going to get, that's when I would say going to a 400 calorie surplus, or maybe even a 500 calorie surplus. But just know you are going to gain fat, okay? You are going to gain fat along with the muscle. So you have to be okay with looking a little pudgy, the face looking a little bit more pudgy, and so on. But if you just want to put on pure muscle, which is going to only be around 1 pound to 2 pounds per month, maybe 3. If you've never worked out before and you are super locked in and you're hitting your protein, the guys who have never worked out before, you can gain up to 2 to 3 pounds per month in the first couple of months. But someone experienced like me is only gaining around 1 pound each month. So for you guys who are trying to bulk, I suggest doing a 200 to 300 calorie surplus. That is your best bet. And I'd also recommend walking as well, just to lower your cortisol, just to get in some steps. I wouldn't say doing like 8 to 10K steps every single day, because it's going to be harder to bulk and then you're going to have to eat more. But I definitely suggest walking outside for 20, 30 minutes, getting some sun. This is going to be absolutely amazing for you. And make sure you're tracking your calories. Next, for the guys who are skinny fat, this is for the guys who are skinny fat. You have a belly and your arms are tiny and you have some slight pudginess. This is going to be for you. You are going to have to lose fat and build muscle at the same time. This is where it gets a little bit confusing. So this is called a body recomposition. This is kind of where you kind of stay the same weight, but you start looking different because you're losing fat and you're building muscle at the same time. So to do this, I recommend you either stay around maintenance or you go into a slight calorie deficit of 100 to 200. So let's say your maintenance is 2,500 calories. You would want to eat in a deficit of, or you'd want to eat in a 200 deficit, and your maintenance would be around 2,300 calories, or eating a 100 calorie deficit, then your maintenance would be 2,400 calories. That way you can lose fat and keep putting on muscle at the same time. Now, I want you guys to listen real quick. For those of you guys trying to lose weight, this is very important. You are cutting your calories, you're not giving your body enough food. So your body's really, really like craving protein and nutrients. So let's say you're cutting and you're in a deep deficit of like 1,000 or 750, and you're not giving yourself the right amount of protein, you are not going to build muscle. You are just going to lose fat. So for the guys out there who have like lost weight, that's great. But if your protein was not high and you weren't lifting with intensity, you were not building any muscle and you're just losing fat. And the last thing you want to do is be the guy that lost all that weight and now you're just extremely skinny and you have no size under because you chose not to eat high protein and you chose just to work on cardio. Do cardio and also do intensity focused workouts. This is going to be your best friend. Make sure you're hitting high protein every single day. I don't care if you're bulking, I don't care if you're cutting or in a body recomposition. Protein is going to be your best friend at the end of the day, and you need to be hitting your protein and body weight. Okay, if you're truly struggling with hitting protein, we're about to go into nutrition. I'm going to tell you exactly how you can stay consistent in your protein every single day. All right, now we are going to go into food focused. Okay, so I like to focus on a animal-based diet. So for example, red meat, eggs, I like to do chicken, I like to do fish, but I really, really want you guys focused on Red meat and eggs every single day. Red meat and eggs. Don't be afraid of the cholesterol bullshit. No, you're not going to raise your cholesterol eating red meat and eggs. I promise you, especially if you guys are already healthy doing cardio. All I eat is 90-10 lean percent ground beef, or 96-4, whatever. The leanest ground beef I can get, that's exactly what I'm eating. I'm eating steaks every single day. I'm eating eggs every single day. I eat at least 6 to 8 eggs every single day. Why? Because this is going to boost your fucking testosterone through the roof. I promise you. And I eat raw dairy, like raw butter, raw milk, raw cheese. I'm telling you guys, this is the move. I'm so serious. You're not supposed to eat pasteurized milk and all this. It kills all the nutrients in the milk. So when you're drinking raw dairy and raw milk, you're not going to get sick from the germs and stuff. No, this is what you are supposed to be drinking. This is what I believe in. And if you guys are sus or skeptical, do your own research. I did my research, but I'm telling you, this is where it's at. So red meat, eggs, Greek yogurt is going to be your best friend. Okay. And for you guys out there who are like, oh, I don't like yogurt. I don't like yogurt. Are you a little girl? Are you a little girl? Okay? No, you're not, right? You're a man. You're a man. If you are a girl watching this, it's all good. It's okay. But for you girls too, okay? Only children are like, "Oh, I don't want to eat that. I don't want to eat that." No. Eat what's necessary to get jacked. Eat what's necessary that's going to make your body look amazing. Don't be the guy that takes veggies out of his burger. That is the most feminine thing you guys can do, okay? I don't care if you don't like Greek yogurt, eat it. I don't care if you don't like steak, eat it, okay? It's going to get you jacked. So, Greek yogurt with granola, blueberries, right? A raw honey, and you could put coconut in there, whatever. Greek yogurt bowls are going to be your best friend at the end of the day when it comes to hitting your protein and just having a nice sweet snack at the end of the night. And it's healthy for you. You could eat like 2 to 3 of those a day and be completely fine. So, Greek yogurt bowls, white rice or brown rice, and then we have sweet potatoes. These are going to be the healthy carbs. Now, for you guys who are focused on losing weight, I want you to focus on complex carbs, okay? Complex carbs such as sweet potatoes, quinoa, right? Like lentils, we can also do brown rice. If you are losing weight, stay away from like the potatoes, stay away from the white rice, stay away from bread, stay away from the pastas. That's going to make you stay fat. Stay away from all of those carbs. You do need carbs, but you need the complex carbs, okay? Now, for you guys who are trying to gain weight, you're completely fine. For you guys who are recomping, you should be fine. Just want to mention that for the guys who are trying to lose weight. So next, these are the foods we are going to want to eliminate, okay? You are going to want to eliminate all fast foods. So fast foods like processed junk, donuts, hot Cheetos, chips, Twinkies, gummy bears, all that bullshit, and sugary drinks such as soda, lemonade, super sugary like Fanta, anything like that, you are going to want to stay away from. I don't care if you guys are going out to get fast food, which after this video, you should not be eating any fast food. Stop getting the sodas, stop getting the lemonades. I can't even remember the last time I had soda. I really cannot remember. I think it's been years. Stop drinking that shit. It is so bad for you. It makes you look like shit and it makes you feel like crap. I do not drink soda. All I drink is water. I have a 64-ounce hydro and I drink 2 of these a day. That is about a gallon, which we're about to get into right now. Drink water, okay? If you guys don't have a hydro, go buy yourself a hydro, because hydrating is going to be your best friend when it comes to just making your skin a lot more nice, when it comes to making you actually have enough energy and just hydrating you throughout the day, okay? So stay away from all the fast food places like Chipotle. Chipotle is not healthy for you. If you guys think Chipotle is healthy for you, it's not. Is it good? Yes. Is it healthy? No. It has so many seed oils, so much bullshit like canola oil, palm oil, rapeseed oil, soybean oil, all that bullshit. That's all in fast food. This is why majority of the population is obese. This is why a lot of people break out. So many food products that is not considered whole food, that is processed, has so much seed oils in there, and this is what is making people bloated and look like crap, okay? So last but not least, we are going to talk about hydration. You guys should be drinking around, I put zero point 0.5 to 1 gallon a day, but honestly, guys, you should be drinking a gallon a day. Now, it is pretty hard to hit a gallon a day, especially if you don't have one of these guys. But I'm telling you, if you can consistently drink 64 ounces to a gallon of water every single day, it is going to do wonders. Now, don't drink it all at once, but drink it throughout the day. I promise you are going to have a lot more energy. You are going to feel a lot more better. You are not going to have brain fog, and your skin is going to look absolutely amazing. So next, I want to actually dive into recovery. Perfect. Okay, recovery, guys. This right here is going to be the most important. Honestly, nutrition is very important. Recovery is the second important. And then training is last. Okay, training is last. Yes, that is true. Food is the very first thing that is going to save you when it comes to getting in shape and building muscle. Recovery is going to be the second most important. And then training is last. I promise you, that is how it goes. So if nutrition and recovery is absolutely shit, training does not matter. I did not mean to flip you guys off. All right, so let's get into recovery. So first things first, guys, is you are going to want to be doing 7 to 8 hours of sleep every single day, 7 to 10K steps. You are going to want to be doing rest days and then mobility and stretching. So first, let's talk about getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep. So first off, if you are not sleeping, you guys might as well just not even work out. If you're not sleeping 7 to 8 hours, you're not going to get jacked. Okay, if you have insomnia, that sucks. Take some Benadryl. Figure out if you have allergies. If you have allergies, take some Benadryl. If you know this stuff, figure out a way to get some sleep. Actually work out during the day, and you guys will be able to knock out. Okay, so 7 to 8 hours of sleep is going to save you in the long run. If you're getting 5 to 6, you guys are leaving so much potential and gains on the table. When you go to sleep, you go into deep sleep, right? Which is also called slow wave sleep. And when you're in this cycle, this is when your growth hormone is activated, which is actually going to build you the most amount of muscle possible. This is where your muscle fibers are going to recover and repair and get bigger. So if you're not sleeping, you're not going to get jacked. Next, we have 7 to 10K steps daily. Guys, if you are losing weight, you should definitely be doing this. And now for the guys who are bulking, yes, I want you getting at least 5 to 10K steps every single day, at least 3 to 4K. Just walk every single day. I want you guys walking. Okay, it lowers your cortisol, which is basically your stress. It's going to help you guys recover. It's going to make you feel 10 times better. And it's just nice to actually relax your mind, go outside and go for a walk. I wish I knew about this earlier. You hear doctors tell you, oh, go walk and all this stuff. And it's so worth it. I promise walking is your best friend. It's going to make you feel so much better, and it's going to do wonders for your body, especially when it comes to recovery and digestion. Every time you guys eat a meal, write this down. Every time you guys eat a meal, you should go on a walk because it helps your meal digest a lot faster compared to just sitting down and doing nothing. And I'm not saying go walk for an hour, but definitely go outside for like 5 or 10 minutes and just walk around to help your food digest. Next, I want to talk about rest days. Me personally, I just have one rest day. I believe that's all that is needed is one rest day. Two is also optimal, but I just do one rest day unless I'm super gassed and I feel like my body needs it. Or I'm super busy with work and then I just naturally do 2 rest days. But honestly, you guys are going to want to do push, pull, legs, then you can rest, then do push, pull, legs, then repeat, or you can do rest again. It's up to you. So 1 to 2 rest days is good. I just do one. If you're first starting, I would do 2 rest days. And then once you're getting used to actually working out, then you could just do 1 rest day. Now, last but not least is mobility and stretching. You guys are going to want to stretch before every single workout. If you're not stretching before every single workout, you're going to hurt yourself in the long run. I promise you. You may feel fine at first, but in the long run and the longevity of things, this is where you see, maybe you see your dad or your uncle. They're like, oh, my shoulder hurts and all these things because they didn't stretch before the workouts. It's just 5 to 10 minutes out of your day to warm up your wrist, especially your wrist. Warm them up. I have videos on this. You guys can ask me for this. Warm up your wrist before your push-ups, before your pull-ups. Warm up your shoulders. Just make sure you guys stretch before your workouts, because I promise you this is going to help you in the long run. Now, I know you guys are just doing beginner calisthenics, but when it comes to the serious calisthenics and the skills like handstands, handstand push-ups, planche, front lever, this is where you are really going to have to take stretching and mobility a lot more seriously. Otherwise, you will hurt yourself. But even in the basics, stretch every single workout. All right. Next, we're going to get into mindset. All right. A lot of you guys, you tell me, you're like, I work out for, a couple days and then I quit. And then I work out for a couple days and I can't stay consistent. I don't have the motivation. How can I stay consistent? Guys, listen. First things first is motivation. Motivation, I'm just going to go off the map real quick. Motivation is not real, okay? Motivation is not real. Get that out of your head. So when you say you don't have the motivation, of course you don't have the motivation because it's not fucking real. Okay, you guys see a workout video, maybe you see one of my workout videos, you're like, oh, I want this guy's physique, or this guy inspired me, and then you probably do a couple push-ups and then fall off. Why? Because it's just motivation. It's not discipline. Discipline is what is going to carry you in the long run. Discipline is going to be what makes you the best version you can possibly be. Okay, so just get that through your head, is that motivation is not real. Discipline is what's going to carry you. So let's get into the mindset things. How can we get you guys staying consistent every single day to where you don't fall off, you don't lose motivation ever again? So first off, motivation fades, okay? Motivation fades, discipline builds results, okay? I don't wake up every single day and I'm like, oh, I want to check on my clients. I want to make YouTube videos. I want to make reels today. I want to work out and sweat in the sun. No, sometimes I don't want to do any of that. But my discipline is what makes me get up every single morning, take a cold shower, do push-ups, go on a walk. My discipline is what carries me. That is my drive, is my discipline. I have instilled it into my brain, into my flesh, my bones, and my blood, and I will continue to be persistent because I've built it up. And when you start letting it go, once you've built up discipline and you start to let it go, you start feeling guilty because that's how strong your mind is. So I'm going to teach you guys something called the 5-4-5 method. This right here is what is going to carry you if you do it. So if you guys haven't written down anything in this presentation, you need to write down the 5-4-5 method. You need to write it down right now. This is going to be the most important thing that is going to help you never lose motivation and never fall off a day ever again. So here it is. Right here we have the 5-4-5 method, guys. So as you see right here, it is 5 goals, a 4-step morning routine, and 5 daily non-negotiable tasks. So the 5-4-5 method, first off, you guys need to get yourself a journal. You need to get yourself a journal. I promise you. Order one off Amazon or write in your notes in your phone, but I highly recommend you get a journal. Either way, just use whatever you have for now, and you are going to write down every single day, right? You're going to write down the date, and then every single day you are going to write down 5 goals, right? Those goals could be, here, for example, let me just give you my 5-4-5. So my 5-4-5 would be 5 goals. Okay, so I want to eventually move out, get my own place. I want to own a Corvette C8 in 2026. I want to help over 200 clients in the year of 2026, right? I want to be able to retire my mom, buy her a house one day. And last but not least, I want to be a man of God and integrity every single day. So those are my 5 goals. My 4-step morning routine is I wake up, I make my bed. The second thing is I go on a morning walk and I get some sun. The third thing is I do 15 push-ups, and then the fourth thing I do is I take a cold shower. And my 5 daily non-negotiable tasks are different every single day, but let's just say like today it would be like make a YouTube video, post 15-20 stories, post 2 reels, clear my DMs, and last but not least, onboard one of my new clients, right? Bam. So your guys' 5-4-5 method can be whatever your 5 goals are. It needs to be medium to long-term goals. Next, your 4-step morning routine, you can use mine. You can make up your own. Maybe you guys want to wake up and you tidy up your room, you make your bed. Maybe you write your dreams down in your journal. Maybe you take a warm shower in the morning, right? Maybe you make some coffee and you make breakfast, whatever it is. Have that morning routine and do it every single day. But one thing I definitely don't want you guys doing is looking at your phone in the morning. Stop doom scrolling. This is one of the biggest things that is holding everybody back in life. Everybody wakes up in the morning and they doom scroll. Everybody does it. Everybody, right? I quit it. And since I quit doom scrolling, I promise it makes my life so much more easy, so much more consistent with everything that I do. And if you're doom scrolling, this is why you are not hitting your workouts every day. This is why you're not consistent. Because when you wake up in the morning, you look at your phone, you're instantly exposing your mind and your energy to a high frequency that your body is not used to. And that's when you lay in bed and you start scrolling and scrolling, wasting so much time and energy and leaving so much gains on the table. So if you're not looking at your phone in the morning, you have so much more time to get your morning routine done and actually get a workout done in the morning. So that's the first thing, is stop doom scrolling. Do not look at your phone in the morning. Turn it on airplane mode, make your bed and do your morning routine, then check your emails, then check your phone. What I just said right now is something you guys should go back and write down, because that's the most important thing that's going to save you. Stop doom scrolling, please. Last but not least is the 5 daily non-negotiables. For you guys, this could be, go to the grocery store, hit my protein, make sure I eat, a steak and 6 eggs so I'm able to hit my protein target. Make sure I eat, like rice, or make sure I meal prep, or make sure I do my cardio in the morning, or make sure I work out. Whatever it is, whatever your 5 non-negotiable tasks are, you need to write them down and mark them off when you complete it. So for example, say your first task is complete your morning routine, mark that off. Say the second task is complete my workout, mark that off. Do you guys see how this is actually going to make you successful and consistent? Because when you write it down and you actually visualize yourself, okay, I can see my morning routine, right? I see my non-negotiable tasks. I completed this one. Okay, next is, okay, complete my workout. Okay, next, all right, now I got to go to work. You go to work, bam. Okay, next is I need to hit my protein, bam. This is going to save you. I promise you, this is going to be your best friend when it comes to being consistent. Next is the identity shift. You guys need to start thinking of what would the best version of myself be doing right now? What would that guy or girl be doing? Would I be waking up at a certain time? How would I be articulating my words when I speak to people? How would I present myself? How much confidence would I feel? How confident would I be in myself when I do certain things? How would I approach different situations? Think of that person that is super jacked, has a lot of confidence, that think of your millionaire self or your jacked self. How would they be acting? And start implementing those habits of that person and become that person every single day. Write this down right now. The identity shift into becoming your higher version of yourself. This is exactly what made people actually become millionaires, actually become jacked and successful. You have to become your best version of yourself. You have to have the actual identity shift. You have to be ready to kill the old you and become the new you. I don't know if that means getting rid of certain friend groups. I don't know if that means focusing on yourself. I don't know if that means maybe getting rid of a partner in your life that's holding you back and that's not actually someone that's pushing you to be successful. You need to have the identity shift into becoming that new person, and that is what is going to completely change the game when it comes to working out. You need to tell yourself, I am someone who trains consistently. So identity shift is not just used for working out. It's used to becoming a millionaire, an entrepreneur, to become one of the best athletes in sports. It's used in everything, but it can definitely be used in working out. You need to know that you are someone who trains consistently, and you are someone who is not just going to fall off after a week of training. So have that identity shift in your head and write it down. Right now, you can say, I am someone who trains consistently, and I'm not someone who will give up just because life gets hard. Have that shift and everything will change. So last but not least is consistency plus progressive overload plus the correct calories is going to equal results. Write this down. Consistency, showing up every single day, doing it when you don't want to do it anymore, having the discipline and being consistent with your calories, your workouts, your sleep, your cardio, every single day is going to get you the body that you want. Progressive overload, making your workouts harder every single workout, right? Making the push-ups harder by adding weight, making the pull-ups harder by adding weight, making the squats harder by going slower on the way down, maybe using resistance bands when it comes to doing push-ups. Making your workouts harder over time with intensity is going to get you jacked in the long run. This is how you truly build size. And last but not least is the correct amount of calories. You have to be eating the right amount of calories. If you're someone who is skinny, you need to be bulking. If you're someone who is overweight, you need to be shredding fat. You need to be losing fat. If you're someone who is trying to do a body recomp and lose fat and build muscle, you need to be in a slight calorie deficit so you lose fat and build muscle at the same time. And along with calories, your protein is included. If you're not hitting your protein, you're not going to get jacked. If you do consistency, progressive overload, and the correct amount of calories, you will get the result. You won't need a coach, you will get the result. Now, if you guys are someone who has completed all of this, you are doing the trainings, you're consistent, you're doing the progressive overload, you're doing the right amount of calories, and you're not getting the right amount of results that you wanted to, or you're not getting the correct feedback, and you're just like, what's going on? I need help. Reach out to me, and then we could talk about, okay, what's going on, what's holding you back, and then I could give you some feedback. I could tell you, okay, maybe you're doing this wrong with your training plan. Maybe you think you're consistent, but you're really not. Maybe your calories is messing up. Whatever it is, we can figure it out. Send me a message. But other than that, this was the diagram. I hope you guys actually enjoyed this. Hopefully this made sense to you. It was a full breakdown. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, send me a message. But for those of you who are actually ready to level up your physique, your mindset, your discipline, and you want your own personalized workout plan to help you in your specific situation because everyone is different, go ahead and book a call in the booking link in the bio. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.